This episode brought to you by Progressive. Most of you aren't just listening right now. You're driving, cleaning, and even exercising. But what if you could be saving money by switching to Progressive? Drivers who save by switching save nearly $750 on average. And auto customers qualify for an average of 7 discounts. Multitask right now. Quote today at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $744 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2022 and May 2023. Potential savings will vary. Discounts not available in all states and situations.
Superchargers, headlights, and more. With over 122 million parts, eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every time or your money back. Stay on your A game with all the parts you need at the prices you want. It's easy to bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. See ebaymotors.com.
Now's the time to save 30% on wedding jewelry, only on BlueNile.com. Make sure your wedding ring is the one with your pick of diamond and lab-grown diamond bands, all hand-finished and graded for excellence. Or surprise her with something blue she'll love for life, like a stunning pair of sapphire earrings. Blue Nile's jewelry experts are available 24/7 to help, from fit questions to style advice. Right now, get up to 30% off at BlueNile.com. BlueNile.com.
Can you dig it, sucker?
Live from Houston, Texas, and around the world. Join the 6-time World Heavyweight Champion, 2-time WWE Hall of Famer, and WWE NXT announcer, Booker T. Booker T. Alongside his right-hand man, the BOAT, Brad Gilmore, as they discuss everything from inside the ring to the backstage and beyond. It's time to get your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me. As always, man, we get ready to do this thing. I want to thank everybody for stepping inside the Hall of Fame today. Give you champagne wishes, caviar dreams, man. We got a whole lot to talk about, man. Who Killed WCW? 3rd episode is out, and I got a chance to watch a little bit of it. So definitely, man, we got to explore as far as that goes. But Brad, how you feel, man? How you feeling today? I see you drinking your little orange juice there. Your little peptides.
I don't know if it's got peptides. It's some electrolytes. You know what I mean? So just a little electrolytes.
Okay. Everybody been telling me about peptides lately. You know what I mean? Everybody's been trying. I was at the airport the other day, and this guy woke me up, and I was so mad. I literally almost went off on him. And he's talking to me about peptides, and I'm like, bro, I'm good. He just don't know how close I was to telling him, man, you need to get the hell up out of here right now. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully he's listening to this right now.
That's ballsy. Wait a minute. He woke you up?
I literally was sitting, and I had my eyes closed. And he sit down in front of me, and he said, hey, excuse me. And I opened my eyes, and he started talking to me about peptides. I'm like, dude, it look like I need a damn peptide right now. It look like I need some sleep. Okay? You know what I'm saying? But nah, man, the peptides, everybody's talking about it, so I definitely might have to look into it. Just check.
Well, you know what? I don't think there's peptides in this. There could be a picogram in there somewhere. I'm not really sure, but I'm doing good, Book. You know, I mean, we're having a tropical depression roll through town, so it's been a rainy day. And and the other thing is, it's been raining all kinds of comments on the Reality Wrestling YouTube channel, on Twitter. We've started a conversation. I say we. You've started a conversation online that I'm sure we'll get more into, kind of with some of the fallout of the death of WCW, who killed WCW, and all the like. But I'm doing good. I know that we're rolling close to the next Reality Wrestling show on July the 13th. Revolution Rising. Tickets are available right now. It's the penultimate show before Summer of Champions 10. Summer of Champions 10. And we already know a couple of matches that are going to be on Summer Champions 10. One that we saw on an edition of Reality Wrestling a couple weeks ago, the $10,000 prize fight is going to be going down between Dexter Line, Dixon, and Teron Beckham, and all kinds of other things. Is it going to be Gigi Ray? Is it going to be Promise Braxton who gets the shot at Mia Friday for the Undisputed Diamonds Championship? All kinds of stuff is going on, Book, at Summer Champions 10, but we have Revolution
as well as Search for the Ultimate Athlete. The footage, guys, is going to be coming real soon, so make sure you be on the lookout for that as well. We did crown a winner. The winner was Teron Beckham, an awesome athlete at Reality Wrestling, trying to make his way on that journey as well. So be on the lookout for that as well.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we'll see where all that goes to. And again, you're going to be in Seattle this weekend too, right?
Yeah, I'll be in Seattle, Washington this weekend. Big Con going down, shaking hands, kissing babies, signing a few autographs. Oh, yes, man. It's going to be good. Seattle, it's a good part of the country. It really is.
Well, it's going to be cool. It's always like a little bit – the thing about Seattle is it's always a little bit misty. You know what I mean? It's never fully sunny. It's never like raining, but it's always misty. There's always a little bit of water in the air. You can get some good fish out there, a lot of good Thai food.
It's just going to be a lot cooler than it is here in Houston. You know, so I'm looking forward to that.
I will be honest with you. The first time I went to Seattle, I had a friend who's from there, and I said, hey, what do you want to do in Seattle? Like, what's there to do? And he's like, have you heard of the Gum Wall? And I'm like, the Gum Wall? What is that? You know, I'm thinking this is like some happening restaurant, or maybe it's like a nightclub, the Gum Wall. You know, you got to go by the Gum Wall. Or maybe it's an arcade. I didn't know what the gum wall was. No. It's literally a wall where people stick their gum. And it's in an alleyway. And it's become a tourist attraction. Now, I know we're from Houston. Man? It's not like the prettiest city in the world. But we don't have a gum wall.
What are people thinking, man? You know what I mean? And for that to be a tourist attraction, for people to actually want to go there and be a part, do you know how disgusting that is? I'm serious. Just think about it for a second. You know what I mean? You can catch something just going to that museum to see that.
Book, like I just pulled up. We didn't go to the gum wall, but I just pulled up like a picture of it. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. I want to share it.
I know it's disgusting. I mean, you don't even have to show it. I can just think about something like that. Come on, man. Yeah. I just think about that when I'm chewing my gum and I'm somewhere and I just stick it under the chair. You know what I mean? That's bad, isn't it? That's bad.
You mean hypothetically, right?
Hypothetically.
Come on, man. No, but you're going to be there in Seattle. I saw some wrestling luminaries are going to be there. Sting, who has been talked about in the Who Killed WCW documentary a lot as kind of the franchise of WCW. A former WCW color commentator, Jesse the Body Ventura, is going to be out there. And I'm telling you, man, I would love for Jesse to be in the Hall of Fame. Oh, man. Yeah. We don't even have to talk wrestling with Jesse. I just want to talk about Kennedy. You know what I mean? Like, I want to hear what he thinks about JFK and what happened there. I know he wrote a book on it and all those things. But so you're going to be with some
I love Jesse. Man, Jesse's a good dude, man. I used to love when Jesse did commentary back in the day with WCW. He used to always put me over. Used to be one of my favorite guys in WCW.
So you back then, because he came in like 95, I think Jesse was there. Did you have like a lot of interactions with him, or just kind of you would hear him on commentary?
Yeah, not a whole lot of interactions or anything like that. Just hearing his commentary and feeling like I was, like one of his guys, like one of the guys that like watching. Maybe I did it old school, like they did it back in the day. So he was always one of my favorite guys, as well as I grew up as a fan of Jesse back in the day as well, because he was just so over the top and flamboyant. He was definitely one of the guys you wanted to watch and kind of emulate to what it took to get to the top level, because he was that guy who always worked at the top of the card. You never saw Jesse at mid card or low card. He was always at the top of the card all the time, so yeah.
Yeah, the thing about Jesse Ventura is, I think people obviously remember him as a commentator, and then later the governor, which is still crazy, and then he's in Predator and movies like that. But I think when you go, I've listened to old Jesse Ventura AWA promos, like when he would cut a promo back in the AWA, the kind of the era you're talking about. He was so good, man. He was so good off the cuff, a little superstar-ish, right? Like some influences of Superstar a little bit to me, a little Gorgeous George in there, I think, maybe a little bit. But Jesse was awesome, man. And I know his wrestling career was cut short, I think, for an injury he had. But if you go back, just watch Jesse Ventura promos. And he lived up to the body. Jesse was jacked.
Jesse, man, he spent a lot of time in the gym. I tell my guys, man, you cannot, forsake the gym. You definitely have to hit it on all points, and it starts in the gym. And Jesse definitely was one of those guys that, his body, Jesse the Body Ventura. Yeah, definitely.
One of the great nicknames, too. Because, no one's taken that one. There's been other Gorgeouses. There's been other Nature Boys.
Well, somebody tried to take it. Scott Levy tried to take it. Raven.
Scotty the Body. Point. That's right.
Scotty the Body, yeah.
That's right. Well, you know what? That one didn't stick. But Raven did.
Didn't stick it all. Yeah.
Raven stuck. That was a great gimmick. I don't know, Book. Before we get into I want to talk to you a lot about WCW and some of the news that we made on the last show. But did you get a chance to see the debut of the Wyatt Six on Monday Night Raw with Uncle Howdy, which is Bo Dallas, and some of the luminaries and how they shot that thing?
I got a chance to see just a little bit of it on YouTube. I didn't get a chance to see it live, but it seemed to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely reminiscent of Bray, God rest his soul, kind of picking up where he left off. With his brother literally carrying the torch for him, or in this case, carrying the lantern for him, to kind of continue that legacy. But, to me, like you've always said this, and it stuck out on the show for me when I was watching Raw, is we can have a place for this in wrestling in any era, but only they can do it. There can only be one act like that. Do you know what I mean? You can't have a whole bunch of supernatural stuff. But I will say, no one does a shot like this like WWE does. I mean, to even go through Gorilla and you see sparks, from the lighting, and Chad Gable looked like he might have been out for the count completely, looking like he just got roughed up by somebody pretty seriously. And the mask and the pageantry of it all. I'm interested to see how it plays out, but I think it's cool to have that presence on the show. Wouldn't you say?
No doubt, man. Bray Wyatt made such an impact, man, such a huge impact in a short amount of time that he got a chance to spend on this earth. As far as this business goes, man, he's a legendary figure in this business at such a young age. Just go to show you the mindset, his IQ for this business, and just can only imagine how far Bray Wyatt's hypocrisy would have gone. That's the thing, how far could he have taken it? How far could it, how much would it have expanded? You know what I mean? Because all of that stuff was coming out of the mind of one guy, and that was Bray Wyatt. So we're going to see how the legacy continues. So stick around, stay tuned. Guys, you're in the Hall of Fame. Sucker! And this episode is sponsored by BlueChew. Guys, let's talk about it. Let's talk about sex. Hey, you remember when you was always ready to go? I'm talking about strapping the rocket on it, man. Going straight to the moon. I'm talking about getting it done. If you want that extra confidence, I got something for you. Listen up. BlueChew.com. BlueChew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, but in a chewable tablet at the fraction of the cost.
But the great thing, Book, is you can take it any time, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. You sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days.
The best part, guys, it's all done online on the internet. So there's no doctor's visit, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at a pharmacy or any of that.
And the thing is, Book, BlueChew's tablets, they're made right here in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package, so no one is the wiser.
Let's just get it out there, guys. BlueChew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. It's like this. Chew it, and do it. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try BlueChew absolutely free when you use promo code Booker at your checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping, man. That's BlueChew.com and use promo code and receive your first month absolutely free, man. Visit BlueChew.com. Use promo code Booker to receive your first month absolutely free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And, we want to thank BlueChew for sponsoring the Hall of Fame podcast. Chew it and do it.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to announce that Smooth Sack Summer is officially upon us. When you're playing out in the summer sun, make sure you're groomed from your pubes to your bum. Thanks to our friends at Manscaped, you can make this season your smoothest one yet. The Performance Package 5.0 Ultra is the ultimate bundle to keep your boys downstairs cool while looking hot. Join the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with our exclusive offer. Get 20% off plus free shipping when you go to manscaped.com and use code BOOKER. Summertime and the trimming is easy.
Let me tell you, Brad, I remember this one time I tried to trim down there without the right tools, and it didn't go well. It was a disaster. But ever since I started using Manscaped, things have been smooth. Literally, man.
I hear you, Book. The Manscaped Performance Package 5.0 Ultra has everything you need to prepare that summer bod. Every man knows how scary it can get when going for a close shave below the belt. That's why I trust Manscaped for all of my sensitive areas.
Inside this package, you'll find the star of the show, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. Their 5th generation trimmer features 2 interchangeable next-gen safe blade heads. One takes a little off the top, and the new fall blade goes smooth wherever your heart desires.
And don't forget the dual LED spotlights to provide contrast on multiple skin tones, 3 length setting combs, and did we mention this trimmer? It's a waterproof tool. Beach, lake, shower, this razor will devour even the strongest puke.
Oh yeah, man, and now that you have the perfect haircut, use Manscaped liquid formulations to keep that freshness even at the hottest summer barbecues, man. The Crop Soother Aftershave Lotion, the Crop Preserver Anti-Chafe Ball Deodorant. Once they touch your sack, you'll never go back.
Manscaped even threw in 2 free gifts for their Performance Package 5.0, the Manscaped Boxers and the Shed Travel Bag. And if you need more wet products, check out Manscaped's new Buff Bundle, which includes their signature silicone scrubber and body wash. Say goodbye to that nasty loofah and grab a taste of freshness.
Man, get 20% off plus free shipping with the code Booker at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus shipping with the code Booker at manscaped.com. It's smooth sack summer, boys. Get on board or get left behind.
Trust us, your summer will never be the same thanks to Manscaped. You'll be feeling confident and ready for anything. Go to manscaped.com. Use code BOOKER for your exclusive offer. Stay smooth, stay fresh, and enjoy your summer.
Can you dig it? Houston, get ready to rumble with the Hall of Fame on ESPN Radio.
That's right, Booker. We're bringing the heat Tuesday through Friday right here on the Houston airwaves on 97.5 and 92.5.
We've got the exclusive scoop on wrestling, boxing, and everything in between.
Join us for the smackdown of sports talk and don't miss a moment of the action.
The Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that? Sucker! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. Get ready to take you guys down memory lane. You feel me? Brad, what you want to talk, like Cody Rhodes, what do you want to talk about?
What are we talking about, man? Well, we're talking about Who Killed WCW. The 3rd part of the documentary was released this week. I got a chance to watch it. I know you got to see a little bit of it too, correct?
Yep.
Not the whole thing, but almost all of it, right?
I got through half of it. I was actually watching it before we came on today.
You know what? You and Charmel, the Queen, made her first appearance in the docu-series as well.
I must say, in this 3rd episode, I haven't got a chance to see the second episode. I just don't sit around and watch stuff like this, guys.
Oh yeah, I get it.
But I know we got to talk about it, so I got a chance to watch a little bit of this third episode, and I must say they made me look pretty good. You know what I mean? I must give.
But now you like them because they put you over.
They put me over. They put me over big time, man. Had me looking real jacked, working out and all that stuff. I'm like, man, I look great, man. I mean, so now, man, big ups to the guys who put it together.
Oh yeah, it was cool to see the footage of you. Again, I think you were working on your back or something. You were sitting there on the machine and kind of cutting a little promo. What was that for?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't ever recall seeing that before. So I don't know. It must have been in the WCW archive somewhere.
Yeah.
That they found that. But yeah, I'd say the last half of the episode, the first half focuses on Vince Russo, and the last half focuses on you and David Arquette, Bash at the Beach, and all that kind of stuff. Which is interesting that they used Arquette and Bash at the Beach as a part of what killed WCW, because in a lot of ways you could draw links to those moments as definitely touchstones that highlighted a larger issue. But I want to ask you first. Let's start from the beginning of where they pick up kind of in this episode. Bischoff is out. They sent him on his way for a little bit. He had a little vacation. And they bring in Russo. Now, Vince Russo was a name that worked behind the scenes of the WWF at the time, helped usher in some creative ideas, let's say, for the Attitude Era. And then he and Ed Ferrara come over to the WCW. And it was even like promoted on television that they hired the writers from the other company, Vince Russo and Ed Ferrara, coming into WCW. Did you have any inclination of who Vince Russo was before he came over? And do you remember any early meetings with Russo?
No, and no. No, I didn't know who Vince Russo was because I wasn't one of those guys who was, talking to guys in the office and trying to feel, what was going on in the office. I wasn't one of those guys that politicked and tried to work my way up the ladder that way or anything like that. I was one of those guys that give me the script. And we're going to go out here and see if I can pull this script off to the best of my ability. And hopefully I'm going to make you happy, even more happy than you would have ever imagined, after it's all over with. So nah, man, I didn't know who Vince was. And I didn't have any conversations with Vince when he first came.
And in all honesty, I mean, why would you know a writer on the other show? No disrespect to the writers out there, but like, why would you in WCW know who a writer was in WWF?
That's a really, really good point right there that you're making. As far as why would anyone know a writer unless they saw their names going up in the credits?
Right.
That's normally the only time in Hollywood you see a writer on the show.
Yeah, you see their name
in any form, and it's their name going up in the credits. But that's where the game got totally changed at when Vince Russo came in and Ed Ferrara. I like Ed Ferrara as well, so don't get it twisted or anything like that. But things definitely changed when those two guys came in.
And they brought in and look, this is a tale as old as time as far as the stories that's been told. A lot of people said, yes, of course, Vince had a lot of creative ideas, Ed as well, but they had the Vince McMahon filter, is what everyone said always back in the day. They had somebody they answered to be like, no, throw that out, keep that. I like that. We can use that, but what if we change it for this? You need sometimes that guy. I mean, Lord knows there have been many a time where maybe someone at Reality Wrestling pitches you an idea, I pitch an idea, Kevin pitches an idea, and you're like, that's good, that's not good, I like that, but what if we do this? And it helps to have a filter and somebody who has an overall vision. And when you're just a purely creative force with no real wrestling experience, I mean, Vince Russo has a journalism degree, was writing for the magazine, and then next thing you know, he's writing for the show, and then now he's in charge of WCW's creative. Now, I want to ask you this. Was there any mandates when he came in almost like, hey, this is what we're doing now? We're not doing your yesterday's WCW. This is the angle that we're trying to push.
Wasn't necessarily the angle, pretty much what he said, on the who killed WCW, as well as the Dark Side of the Ring stuff. It was Crash TV. Everything was fast. He didn't want you changing the channel. He wanted everybody to, eyes on WCW and what they were doing all the time, which I got. which therefore the matches, it became secondary. You know, the wrestling became secondary. It all became a show about entertaining and entertainment at all times, at all cost. And I remember having a conversation with Vince Russo, and I go, Vince, man, these 5-minute matches, man, they're killing me, man. They're killing my career. I need more time, man. I need more time to go out and perform. And I remember him giving me more time. I think I had maybe 10 to 12 to go out and get my work done, which I was cool with that. I was like 10 to 12, that's cool. But those 5-minute matches I really thought was killing my career. I could really get no quality work out of 5 minutes. I would be so tired sometimes at the end of 5 minutes because I was just running around the ring, stuff like that. And I wasn't the only one. Everybody was introduced to that motto and that style of Vince Russo. So we just had to get used to it and go with it, I think, at that time, because he was the boss.
Yeah, and for people who don't know, I mean, wrestling is physical storytelling, and you need more than 5 minutes generally on most nights to tell an effective story, unless there's a special circumstance for it. But let me ask you, because he says this in the doc, and I did find this as an interesting perspective that I had not considered from him before, which was, he said, I'm a writer for a television show.
I heard that.
He didn't say I'm in charge of the booking, for a wrestling show. He said I'm a writer for a television show. And when you think of it through that prism, I'm not saying it justifies any of the bad ideas, because Lord knows there were good ideas in WCW during the Russo era. As we've talked about, there was a lot of like, what are you doing ideas? But when you don't look at it from a wrestling prism and you look at it through a television show that's only goal is to get viewers and keep them watching for the entirety of the 2 or 3 hours, I understand more of his approach than I did when I just thought he was an erratic wrestling writer. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Kinda. Not really.
But I'm not saying I'm justifying it, but I'm just saying, like, if you're a wrestling mind and you come in here with a wrestling perspective, you're not booking the show that Vince Russo booked. There's no way. There's no way anybody with a real sense of the business would take that kind of creative direction. But if you are somebody who says, I'm a television writer and I just want to create something that's going to make you watch, I don't give a damn about the wrestling aspect.
Yeah, I get that, man. I get Vince Russo saying that, but what other television shows has he worked on?
Well, I think just this is not so much his IMDb page as his philosophy.
What I'm saying is he's worked in the wrestling business, so he's wrestling not just for a television show. He's writing for a wrestling television show. It's going to still be about wrestling.
I agree with you.
That right there for me is almost a cop out, saying that I'm writing a television show. Really, there again, like you said, a lot of good ideas. A lot of bad ideas. I think just take that and run with it. That's just the way it is. He had a lot of good ideas. He had a lot of bad ideas. That's the way it is when writing. It's like movies. Sometimes you have a good movie. Sometimes you do a movie and it bums. I think that's just the way life is. And you got to take it like that. I mean, I think Arnold Schwarzenegger talks about the movie that he made about his mom, who shot my mom or something. Or was that Stallone? One of them.
It was Stallone. It was.
Yeah, it was Stallone.
Mom's got a gun, or
exactly. It was one of the worst movies, But then we talk about Rocky, how great Rocky was, and how great the franchise was. So I think that's just the way it is. And I think if because just think about it, just go back and revisit some of the stuff that happened in WCW. It was a lot of crappy stuff.
Yeah.
And I said it at one point, I think, on the documentary, that I really felt like Vince Russo was writing a lot for himself. He was entertaining himself.
I think that's definitely an element to it, and I wanted to ask you about that.
No, and I think that might be an element. And is it wrong? To him, it probably is not wrong. You know what I mean? Because he's trying to create television. But to the guys, the wrestlers that's on the show, that's got to do, like the one match I had to do where, it was like on a pole or something, and then in a box, like 4 boxes. One of the boxes, the thing just fell out of it.
Yeah.
One of the boxes had a picture of Scott Hall in it.
That was
One
the
of the, it was
49ers
just stupid
match,
stuff.
right?
Exactly, stuff like that. So memorable matches that you just don't want to remember ever. You know what I mean? So, I think just take it like that, and I think we get past it. We get to this point.
Well, hey, we got to take a break, but I have more of questions for you about WCW and Vince Russo when we come back.
Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute.
Hey, everyone, it's Brad Gilmore and Booker T here. We're pumped for the NBA Finals. The excitement is off the charts, and it would be incredible to be there in person for one of these epic games. Imagine the thrill of watching the NBA Finals live. It's a dream come true for any basketball fan, and that's where GameTime comes in. GameTime makes it super easy and fast to get your NBA Finals tickets. And the best part, prices on the GameTime app actually drop as it gets closer to tip-off, so you can score killer last-minute deals.
I've been browsing through the GameTime app, and let me tell you, man, the deals are amazing. You can save up to 60% on last-minute tickets for NBA Finals and other high-profile events. And guess what I saw? Some fantastic deals that makes it totally affordable. Plus, the app shows you the view from your seat before you buy it. That's a game changer, man.
Absolutely, Book. I love how easy it is to find and buy tickets on the GameTime app. The flash deals and the zone deals are fantastic. You can pick a section and let GameTime choose the seats for the biggest savings. And with their all-in pricing, there's no surprise fees at checkout. It's straightforward, it's transparent, just how we like it. And what pleasantly surprises me was their lowest price guarantee. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, GameTime will credit you 110% of the difference. Plus, their customer service is top-notch with features like event cancellation protection and job loss assurance.
Guys, take the guesswork out of buying NBA Finals tickets with GameTime. Download the GameTime app, create an account, and use the code BOOKER for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. And create an account and redeem the code BOOKER for $20 off your first purchase. Download GameTime today. Last-minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. So don't miss out on the action. Get your tickets with GameTime and be a part of the NBA Finals excitement. Oh, yes!
Hey everybody, Brad Gilmore here with the one and only Booker T, and today we're not just talking about wrestling, we're talking about something that's changed the game for both of us personally, and that's Mando whole body deodorant.
Yeah, that's right, Brad. The most valuable thing in the world could be that #1 draft pick or home field advantage throughout the playoffs. But you know what's second? Time.
Absolutely, Book. And let me tell you, managing body odor, that used to eat up a lot of time. Always worrying about it, especially around midday, but not anymore since we started using Mando.
Yeah, but tell them why, Brad.
Well, Mando isn't like those other deodorants that just mask the odor with heavy fragrances. Mando stops odor at the source. It blocks bacteria on your skin from breaking down sweat, which, by the way, is what really causes that BO.
And it's clinically proven to control that odor for up to 72 hours. Now that's long-lasting, man.
It really frees up so much time since switching to Mando. I've even perfected my half-court shot, believe it or not.
Man, that's awesome. And let me add, I've been using Mando everywhere. Pits, grundles, and even those stinky crevices. We all got this aluminum-free, cruelty-free, dye-free, and vegan. Designed by a doctor who knew what was up about body odor, man.
And for our listeners, we got something special. New customers can get $5 off the Mando starter pack. That's over 40% off. Just use our code BOOKER at shopmando.com. That's shopmando.com.
Use shopmando.com. Check out their starter pack. Brad and I would not steer you wrong.
With Mando, you're really taking care of your body odor anywhere and everywhere. Give it a try and let us know what you think.
All right, now back to wrestling. But remember, control your body odor anywhere, anytime with Mando, and save big with the promo code Booker at shopmando.com. Hey, what's up, Nashville? It's your man, Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer. Wake up, man, and get in the ring with the Hall of Fame.
Every Saturday morning, book at 8 a.m. We're coming to you live on 102.5 The Game, Nashville's home for sports talk. We've got the knockout conversations, the legends, and all the sports insight that you crave.
So check out Booker T and Brad Gilmore every Saturday morning on 102.5 The Game. Now can you dig it? Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame. My bad, man. My bad. I hit the wrong button. How y'all doing, man? How y'all feel? Talking, who killed WCW? Who killed it? Who killed it? That's the question. And the thing is, I think it's a multitude of situations that happen with WCW that really was the downfall of WCW. I think a lot of people got a lot of parts to play as far as, what happened, what really happened. Because I'm telling you, man, these stories that's coming out now, just like you guys, this is the first time I'm hearing a lot about it. As far as the upper echelon, the herds and certain names coming out, certain guys running the company that I didn't even know they was running the company when they was running it, stuff like that. So it's an eye-opening experience for me. I wish that a lot of these stories would have stayed buried along with WCW.
Why is that?
Just because there again, like I said, I really felt a certain way about Eric Bischoff before these kind of stories started coming out. And now my perception is totally different. I just think, what's dead should stay dead. And it's like they say, rest in peace. And we still talking about WCW. Can you imagine WCW is still turning over in its grave right now listening to these stories? I'm serious. Just think about it.
Yeah. No, I mean, WCW's been gone for 23 years, something like that. Yeah. No, I hear you, but there's still an audience out there who wants to know things.
Oh yes. That's why I said we got to talk about it.
So let's get into it. And if you have any super chats, we'll definitely save them all for the last segment. We want to read them all here inside the Hall of Fame. Okay. You mentioned it, so might as well let's go right into it. They talk about and I want to know if you really truly believe this. So, and I think that you do, but I want to ask for the Hall of Fame listeners. They talk about the idea of putting the title on David Arquette on an episode of Thunder, right? Dallas was going in the champion. I guess the stipulation was whoever gets the pinfall is the champion, something like that. Arquette wins it. Now, I always thought this was a Vince Russo call, and apparently, I mean, he was the ultimate decision maker, but I did not know until this episode Tony Schiavone was the guy who had the idea to put the title on David Arquette. And I'm not trying to throw heat on Tony, but it was just, I can see it in the meeting. It was just probably like one of these, hey, what if we put it on Arquette? You know how people do that. They just throw out an idea. What if we put it on Arquette? And then Vince Russo, thinking for ratings, goes, oh yeah, that's a great idea. And DDP did not like the idea. Obviously, he was a champion. He didn't like that idea. David Arquette didn't like the idea. I don't think anybody liked it, but they went ahead and
Eric Bischoff went along with it.
Bischoff went along with it. Okay, yeah. It was he was I don't remember. Was he still back in charge at that time?
He was in the match.
Bischoff's in the match?
Yes.
Okay, well then he went with it. He went along with it. And David Arquette, that's who he pinned, huh? He pinned Bischoff?
Yeah.
Yeah. And David Arquette walks out the WCW champion. You've talked about it before. Tell me, though, again, when David Arquette won the title, was it like a gut punch to you?
It really wasn't a gut punch at all because it was their stuff. I always talk about that kind of stuff, man. I'm like, man, it's not mine to be that upset about because it's not mine. It's not mine. It's theirs. I'm just playing a role here. Did I perhaps shake my head and go, oh man, come on, man? But I didn't go, man, David Arquette, just because perhaps maybe it's because I saw how good of a dude Arquette was on the set when we was doing Ready to Rumble. He was just a nice dude, man. He was just genuine. We had so much fun laughing at some of the scenes that he did. He was just that likable of a guy. So when it happened for Arquette on the show, maybe I didn't really think about it, really process it until him and I actually was in the dressing room at the same time together. And what's crazy is I don't remember anybody else being around us. It was just him and I. Like white noise and just him and I. And he was so freaking excited. He was so happy. And he just had to share it with someone that he thought perhaps had, been to that level and had that excitement and that adrenaline rush that he was having at that moment, which was me.
Right.
And I swear, man, it was such a surreal moment for him and I to be having that conversation in the way it ended. It was a moment that I'll remember, I think, for the rest of my life. And when I was watching Who Killed WCW, the way they played it was they'll play a little bit of me and then they'll play a little bit of him and they'll play a little bit, but the story just totally just lined up and coincided. It was perfect. And I'm sure, when he thinks about it, and go back, he feels the same way that I do, because I was so happy for him. And he was so, he felt so bad for me.
Right.
At the same time.
Right. That was one of the things that he brought up as far as, his kind of shock that you had never won the WCW championship, and I did find that to be interesting as far as y'all having the exact same story. But then this is the thing that I wanted to ask you, because you said in the documentary, I've heard you say this before, and I want to know if you truly, truly, truly believe this, because I do think you do, but let me ask. David Arquette, you said he went out and cut a promo. Guys like me shouldn't be the world champion. Guys like Booker T should be the world champion. And you said it in the documentary, you've said it to me, I think on this show before, you feel that could have potentially sparked perhaps or got the ball rolling for you eventually getting the world title later in the year?
I really believe 100% that David Arquette sparked the flame and really made the company rethink things and look at things a little bit different just because of David Arquette, because he said it. He said it live on television. He said it because he had been watching me and he perhaps believed in my talent and thought I was a pretty good wrestler as well. Maybe that's the reason why he said it. Maybe the reason why he did it because, when he sat in the locker room with me and expressed the way he really felt about that night, and then after talking to me and realizing that, I had never, went to that pinnacle, and maybe I needed somebody like him to actually, endorse me. I don't know what it was, but I do believe that David Arquette is really, truly one of the reasons why I became the world heavyweight champion in WCW. The question was asked, why did I think I would never become WCW champion? And I said, because I was black. And I really believe that too. I really believe that because I felt like I had the talent. I felt like I was just as good as anybody in the locker room. But I felt like it was gonna be a higher power, as far as as far as me making that step over into that realm right there. It's just like when I listened to Eric Bischoff, and he was saying, there was, grooming me, to move up to what people can buy, when I finally won and whatnot. I go back to when I won the World Television Championship. And the reason why I won the World Television Championship for the first time is because Rick Martel had forgot his boots. He forgot his gear. He thought he was just coming in to do some promo work. And they went to get the title off Disco, who was like a heel, and, get it on a baby face, and so they were going to do a little transition. But I wasn't slated the guy to win the television championship. I wasn't slated the guy to be the guy. to have the television championship 6 times, have a 6-time television championship. No one expected that, but me. Only thing I was looking for was a chance, an opportunity, and that opportunity came, under some of the craziest circumstances. That opportunity came. I was reading some of the comments too, and they misconstrued me talking about winning the World Heavyweight Championship and knowing that I was going to win a couple of days earlier. And then on the documentary, it said I found out 10 minutes before I had to go out. I did find out 10 minutes before I had to go out after all the chaos happened. Everything broke down. I like I said, I was, like in the mindset of I might as well just go home. They said, no, stick around. I found out 10 minutes before I was actually going to walk out and perform for the World Heavyweight Championship. I found out about 10 minutes on that night. Yes, but so I just want to correct that and make sure people don't think that that my words was mixed by me saying, no, I found out a couple of days early and then I found out 10 minutes before. I just don't want that to be.
So, okay, wait. I know we have to go to break, but just so I have it right, you had an inkling a couple of days ahead of time, but you didn't really know until 10 minutes before.
I had an inkling that I was going to be winning the world title, and then everything was up in the air.
Right.
When Hogan pulled the card, and I'm like, well, I don't know if I'm going to be doing this. And then 10 minutes before I find out, it is going to happen. So that's the case. So I just want to clarify that. So if anybody's, wondering, it's because I've seen a lot of comments about it. Stick around, guys. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Hey, y'all, Booker T here alongside with my main man, Brad Gilmore. And today we're talking about something that could really change the game when it comes to how you get paid.
That's right, Booker, because let's face it, life doesn't just happen every 2 weeks. So why wait for a payday? With Earnin, the money you've earned already can be in your hands today.
Earnin is this incredible app that lets you access your pay as you earn it. We're talking about up to $100 per day and up to $750 each pay period.
All you got to do is download the Earnin app, verify your paycheck, and boom, you can access up to $100 a day as you work. And the cool part, you just leave an optional tip, and any money you access plus the tip gets repaid when your next paycheck rolls in.
Brad, I'm always talking about staying ready so you don't have to get ready, right? Imagine having that extra cash for that surprise date night, or maybe when you have to take the furry little friend to the vet unexpectedly.
Absolutely, Booker. Or even those times when you need to grab a last-minute gift, or maybe you're a little short on rent, or hey, even you might want to pick up some new gear for yourself or your kids or your lady.
Folks, make Earnin part of your financial playbook. Join over 3.5 million customers who are finding financial stability and peace of mind thanks to Earnin.
So don't wait around for a payday. Get your money when you need it and take control of your finances. Download Earnin today and experience what it's like to access pay on your terms.
Get started with Earnin now and join the millions who are getting their pay their way. It's time to earn in, not just earn. Check it out, man.
Hey, everyone, it's Brad Gilmore from the Hall of Fame here with the one and only Booker T, the 5-time WCW champion, and we're excited to talk to you about something that's been a game changer for the both of us. That's HelloFresh.
That's right, Brad. HelloFresh makes home cooking easy, fun, and affordable with farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. You can skip those tiring trips to the grocery store and dive straight into cooking delicioso meals, man.
Absolutely, Book. HelloFresh offers over 50 recipes and a ton of market items to choose from every single week. You can say goodbye to meal planning woes and hello to convenience. I've been loving their quick and easy recipes. They're ready in 20 minutes or less, which means I can spend less time in the kitchen and more time enjoying that Texas summer sunshine.
And let me tell you, the fit and wholesome recipes are perfect for keeping you feeling great all summer long. They're balanced packed with fresh produce at under 650 calories per serving. Plus, HelloFresh kids-friendly recipes are picky eater proof. My kids love them.
Here's the best part. When you sign up today, you unlock free appetizers for life. That's right. Every HelloFresh box will come with an appetizer of your choice for free. You just go to HelloFresh.com/BookerApps to get started. That's free appetizers for life at HelloFresh.com/BookerApps.
America's #1 meal kit. Baby, trust me, you won't regret it. HelloFresh takes the hassle out of meal planning, shopping, and most of the prep. You just choose your meals, select a delivery date, and get cooking, man.
So what are you waiting for? Go to HelloFresh.com/BookerApps and unlock those free appetizers for life. That's HelloFresh.com/BookerApps for free appetizers for life. Thanks for listening and happy cooking.
Boom! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame talking. Who killed it, man? Who killed WCW? Where we going? What's your next question, man?
Okay, we do have super chats, and I will get to them, but let's just spend the last couple minutes on the Bash at the Beach thing. Okay, so I was watching this. We've talked about Bash at the Beach. Obviously, it's a very important moment in your career for the first time you winning the WCW championship. That's covered in the documentary. Vince Russo seemed to very much champion this thing. So I want to pitch a scenario to you because this has been a very confusing night for, I'm sure, yourself in some ways, but all wrestling fans forever. You always hear about Bash at the Beach 2000. What's real, what's fake? It's wrestling. It's hard sometimes. And you know what? I mean, Hogan's known to kind of go on his own version of events a lot of times. Because we all remember when he was a bass player in Metallica. So these things happen, right? And I get the passage of time, your memory fades. This is what, from my understanding of watching and viewing everything, talking to you and all this, this is what I feel like could have happened. Do you remember when Bret Hart was going into his last, I think it was 90 days of his WWF contract? He had creative control in his contract for the last 30 or 90 days, something like that. He could be in charge of how he left the company. That was in his contract. And when it came time to Vince and the powers that be saying, we want you to drop the title to Shawn in Canada, Vince said, or Bret said, a Hogan line, that doesn't work for me, brother, right? And they kind of tried to figure out a solution. They couldn't figure out a solution. Vince tells Bret, we'll just end in a schmoz at Survivor Series. Turns out the Montreal screw job happens. They do business for him. Whatever happens. I feel like Bash at the Beach 2000 is a very similar situation. And I could be completely wrong on this, but it feels like Vince Russo said, hey, Bash at the Beach, this is the perfect time to finally put the title on Booker. Because in the Death of WCW, or Who Killed WCW documentary, Vince Russo says everyone loved Booker, the people love Booker, people backstage love Booker, he paid his dues, he has everybody's respect, the fans are behind him. This is his time. Right, this is the time to do it. Like he's earned this opportunity. And you even hear an inkling a couple of days in advance. What would you say, 2-3 days ahead of time?
A couple of days, 2-3 days. Yeah.
2-3 days, you hear from somebody, hey, Book, we're planning something, And we know if you've worked in the business, anything can change by the time you get to the show. But you at least heard the inkling, hey, we're thinking about putting the title on you at the Bash at the Beach. It's a possibility.
You wouldn't think, it's your time.
It's your time. So you were told you're winning the title at Bash at the Beach.
Yeah.
And Russo's got the book at the time. So obviously Vince Russo's made this decision. It's time to put the title on Booker. And then you get to Bash at the Beach 2000, and there's the Hulk Hogan of it all and the Eric Bischoff of it all. Now, Hogan has creative control. Whatever he wants to do, he can do according to his contract. Now, it sounds like Bischoff goes along with it, but you know what? Also, to be fair to Bischoff, it doesn't really matter what he says. Hogan has creative control. If Hogan wants to win the title, it seemingly, now I could be wrong on this, from my understanding, it supersedes anything anybody else wants to do. He's got the power to do it. He's on the show. This is what I want to have happen. So either I'm not on the show or I am on the show, but if I'm on the show, this is what I want to have happen, I think. So Hogan obviously wants to win the title, which would have saved the company from financial ruin, as we all know. And they have the thing with him and Jarrett. And then there's the promo from Russo. Eric and Hogan leave the building. You end up winning the title later in the evening from Jarrett. Do you think it's possible Vince Russo told Hogan and Bischoff what they wanted to hear? just to get them to go along with the program long enough so that he could then slot in the match that he really wanted between you and Jarrett?
Anything's possible. Anything's possible.
Do you think it's probable?
It's hard for me to say. And the reason why it's hard for me to say is I just can't see. But then again, I talk about how Eric Bischoff had changed a whole lot, from the beginning of the NWO to that point, right there. I don't know what Eric Bischoff's mindset was. I know in the documentary Who Killed WCW, at one point, Vince Russo said his job when he came back was to oversee everything Vince Russo was doing. Am I right or wrong on that?
Yeah, that's what Eric Bischoff said. Yeah.
That's what he said. He said he was to oversee everything that Vince Russo was doing. And for him to get in the car and leave after Hogan debacle with Jeff Jarrett, opposed to being in the office irate, wondering what the hell is going on, and get in the car and go down the road, and then they find out about this later as far as Vince Russo going out and cutting the promo. I don't know, man. I don't know if Eric Bischoff was in the building at that time, but if he wasn't in the building, that proves my point even a little bit more so, just because the boss, I normally do reality of wrestling. I know I'm one of the last people to leave. I'm not going to be leaving before the show's over. That's the last thing I'm going to do is leave before my show is over. That's not going to happen unless I'm caught up in the moment and we're having, a really, really good time running this company the way it's being run. I don't know. I could be wrong, but it's hard for me to believe that. It really is. It's really hard for me to believe Eric Bischoff left the show before the show was over with.
Wait, so did you ever see him at the show after what happened? I mean, did you ever see him?
I don't recall seeing him. Him. But then again, to your point, maybe they thought the show was over after Hogan won the belt. Maybe they thought the show was over.
Hey, we did our business for the night. I'm going to hop on the jet with Hulk. We're going to go back to Florida or wherever it is.
They were good buddies back then. Hulk was out of the door. He probably was somewhere real close because he didn't want to miss the jet.
He didn't want to miss the takeoff time.
I'm serious.
Well, and it's notable that this is the last appearance of Eric Bischoff and Hulk Hogan in WCW, on television at least. It's the last time we ever saw either one of them on TV for the WCW. I think that could have been what happened, but you know what? The thing about that night is, one, we'll never know exactly what it is, but two, whatever had to happen to get you to win the world title, I think not only are you or myself, I think everybody watching this show and wrestling fans around the world are thankful that whatever had to have happened so that you could be finally elevated to the position that you were long overdue for.
Like I said, man, I appreciate what Vince Russo did for me. No doubt about it. I can't paint that any other way other than I'm like overjoyed as far as what Vince Russo did for me in my career. He really was the spark that really torched that thing. Like I say, David Arquette pretty much sparked it, but he torched it. And when I think got that scathing promo on Hogan and said, "No, it's gonna be a championship match tonight, and it's gonna be Booker T and Jeff Jarrett for the WCW." I mean, he torched it, man, and so I give him a lot of credit for standing up for me and doing that for me, because a lot of people, man, would have just closed their eyes or turned their head the other way and said, "Man, sorry, Book, maybe next time." Yeah, but he didn't. I give him a lot of credit for that.
I would love to know what happened that night. Like, I'm almost tempted to do some investigations and try to figure this out once and for all. We have super chats before we have to leave here, so let's go to Mel Child Jones. What was your workout routine in WCW?
Oh man, my workout routine was the same as it is now. You want to hit your chest. As far as the bench, you want to hit your squats. As far as get on the squat rack, You want to make sure you hit your curls, man. If you do those three things right there, you pretty much turn out to be a beast. Because man, I was looking real jacked back then.
You were looking real jacked, man. This comes from. I want to actually do the WCW ones in order, and then we'll go to the other ones. Casey is Raw Gaming and Wrestling. Booker, what is your opinion on Vince Russo? Would you consider him a friend or a foe? Well, definitely not a foe.
I wouldn't call him a foe or anything like that, but I wouldn't necessarily say we're friends either, because a friend you have to have broken bread with at least once. And Vince and I, we've never broken bread. We've never had, in-depth conversation, anything like that, other than, wrestling talk. But I would consider him a coworker.
Colleague. Michael Peacock says, when Russo presented ideas to the wrestlers, was there a negotiation, or did he put it as you have to do this? Because sometimes people don't speak up when they should have. Well, I can't speak for everybody, but Book, knowing you how I know you, if he pitched something you didn't like, he'd hear it.
Yeah, it was a negotiation, because I went and asked Mr. Russo if I can get a little bit more time. I knew the 5-minute thing wasn't going to work for me. I tried it, and it wasn't working. Get over matches just wasn't working. So, no, he was willing to bend a little bit because he gave me the extra time.
Yeah. So, I mean, everything's open for negotiations. Let's go to, we're going to go to the WCW ones first. Data with Kindle said, I think it would have been a better story if Hogan had put you over at Bash at the Beach. Well, I think that would have been a good story.
That would have been a great story, but there again, I really don't think that would have ever happened. I don't think, like Hulk said about Sting, I don't think he would have been in the right mind space for that.
That one didn't work for me, brother. But by the way, I got to tell you, that doesn't work for me, brother. It's such a great line.
It's like show's over, pal.
Show's over, pal. That doesn't work for me, brother.
That doesn't work for me. No matter what it is, what's there?
You can use it for anything. You could use it for anything.
Work for me, brother,
It's almost too. I'll tell this real quick before we get to our last super chats. I know we're going a little over on time. It's like there's this great story Bully Ray tells where he and Devon are working a match with Rock and Foley, and they're trying to figure out the finish. And Bubba pitches the finish. He's got this great elaborate thing, and The Rock kind of looks at him. He goes, "Bubba, that's a great finish, but it's not a great finish for The Rock." He said he wanted to kill him so bad. That's good, but it's not good for me. All right, I'm just letting you know.
So table it.
Save that for somebody else.
Exactly.
Some Gonda Chonko says, King Book, yeah? Thoughts on the recent performances of NXT call-ups, Braun, Mello, Tiff, Ilya, Lyra? I hope Kale Dixon is okay.
Oh, man, the call-ups are doing great, man. Of course, they're going to have to, find their spot. People like J.D. McDonough, as well, put him on that list.
Yeah.
They're going to have to find their spots. It's not going to be an overnight thing. I look at the way they're building Braun Breaker, and it's a great way to build him. I mean, this kid, he's going to be a monster, when he finally, hit his stride, per se. But I like everything that they're doing with the NXT call-ups. I like everything that they're doing with NXT. NXT just had a hell of a show this week. Some of the 10A guys showed up in the building. Got a chance to kick it with Tommy Dreamer. He was, at the NXT arena as well. So, man, everything is popping right now with NXT. I'm loving it.
All right, let's go to our last two. This is from Callie Toenail. Callie says, I don't think Drew's done. He came up with a way to turn the tables. He'll be back soon as Punk gets close to something he wants. Boom, Drew takes it. Of course, Drew McIntyre said he quits. I have a feeling, though, Book, when SmackDown rolls around, it's in Chicago. Could be a swerve. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
You know what? Let's just sit back and wait and anticipate. That's what I like to do as far as the shows go on, like writing the show. I know Drew McIntyre right now is he's all over it, man. He's been doing some really, really good work. The storyline with CM Punk has drawn out to the point to where it actually feels like an angle.
It is.
So let's see exactly where it goes.
And our last one of the day comes from Richard Jr. Will Roxanne use the hacker gimmick in WWE NXT so she can be in the production truck and doing it her way to set traps for NXT stars in the women's division?
Tell you what, I don't know, but I can tell you this: Roxanne Perez has stepped her game up 100%. She's a totally different. She's not that little girl anymore. She's definitely not that little girl anymore. She's a grown ass woman, and she's like Janet Jackson. You know, she call her own shots. She's on her own. Thank you. Oh yes, man.
Love it. Well, those are all the super chats. Those are it.
All right, man. We got to get up out of here, man. I want to thank everybody for stepping inside the Hall of Fame. Got one more episode of Who Killed WCW, so we'll probably be talking about that next week. I want to thank you guys for stepping inside, getting your champagne, wishes, caviar, dreams, Brad, all the heavy lifting. As always, right now, peace. We love you. We out.
When you have sports mixed with your pop culture, along with humor and celebrity interviews, your earbuds are enjoying The Rich Eisen Show.
You are so obsessed with betting. I don't need to bet.
You're adamant that you're going to win, and I'm adamant that they're not going to win.
But why does money have to be exchanged?
You're a realist.
Like he believes it, you believe it.
Why is that? Well, that's no fun in that.
It's a conversation that you can have, and then Monday it's just like, I told you so. I mean, that's verbal currency.
There's nothing fun there.
Search for The Rich Eisen Show on YouTube or wherever you listen.